Guilty until proven innocent, or in Turkish constitutional law terms, block first, warrant later. In its latest attempt to exert greater control over the internet, the Turkish government has announced it's looking into a bill that would grant powers to block any site on the internet without an immediate court order, specifically anything that's considered to threaten national security and public order. According to the bill, the designated decision-making authority would be the Prime Minister and the Communication Minister, who said, upon a demand by the related minister or the Prime Minister, Telecommunications Directorate will be able to temporarily remove content or block access. However, there will be an obligation to file for a court order within 24 hours, and if not granted, the prohibition will automatically be lifted. To add to that, hefty penalties are involved too. The new draft bill discusses penalties for not implementing court rulings, with fines of up to $215,000. Turkey has built up a notorious reputation for shutting down websites in the past. Social media giants such as Twitter and YouTube were blocked back in March under court orders, citing security reasons. Government concerns were raised when they were used to post telephone recordings implicating the current president Recep Tayyip Erdogan in a major corruption scandal, as well as provoking military intervention in Syria. In September, as part of an omnibus bill, TIB was granted extraordinary authority by the government to monitor internet users and block websites at will. Needless to say, the bill was overturned by a constitutional court a month later. Turkey's recent moves to exert greater control over social media sites have brought to question political, press and speech freedoms in Turkey. And the new block first, warrant later rule will no doubt raise those very same questions again.
A teenager who allegedly insulted Turkish President Recep Erdogan and arrested on Wednesday has been released. The 16-year-old, listed only by his initials MEA, was freed by the court but still faces trial and a possible 4-year sentence if found guilty. Turkey's penal code makes it a crime to insult the president, and the teenager was giving a speech in the central city of Konya and was arrested after criticizing the ruling AK party. The opposition condemned the arrest amid growing concern in Turkey at what they see as a clampdown on freedom of speech. Now, on this same issue, joining us live over the phone is Amer Ahmad, who is a lawyer and a political analyst. Amer, thank you very much for joining the Bulletin. With plans for a bill that can block web pages without a court order, a teenager arrested in Turkey for allegedly insulting the president, how much of a problem is freedom of speech becoming in Turkey?
Well, it's certainly becoming an issue in Turkey, and Turkey, of course, in the future wants to, we're told, join the European Union. And this kind of action will, of course, contradict many of the conventions that apply to European countries. So Turkey will have a problem if it continues to pursue this course of action.
Okay, so the court annulled a similar law back in September. Do you think they'll do the same for this time around?
Well, it's certainly a possibility, and what is healthy is that the courts appear to be independent of the executive or of the government, and so that bodes well for Turkey because there is some independent ratification of what's going on. So the courts may well oppose any moves by the government, and this bill may find itself being unlawful.
I mean, speaking of the European Union that you mentioned just earlier, how good or bad are their chances if this issue is to recur?
Well, of course, Turkey faces many problems in terms of its application, not least that it's not considered by many to be a proper European country. And this kind of thing will play into the hands of those right-wingers, people who are anti-Turkish, possibly anti-Muslim, allowing Turkey to come into Europe. So it doesn't bode well for them.
Now, all this clamping down on internet use, speech and democracy, what are the Turkish authorities afraid of? I mean, it does show a high level of insecurity.
I think that's right. And for a democracy, Turkey's democracy is a well-established democracy, and so you would hope that it would seek to develop further freedoms of speech, press, political freedoms. These are all things that signal Turkey being a first world nation. And if it's moving away from those things, then of course it's going to cause concerns all around the world, and Turkey's position in Europe will of course come under question.
Brilliant. We're just going to have to leave it there. Lawyer and political analyst Amer Ahmad, thank you very much for your time.